Hey everybody, it's Amy Graham, the Badass Valkyrie. Today is June 15th, 2020, and I wanted to hop on and do the Finding 52 focus for the week. And it is just keep going. I know that the past few weeks have been exceptionally hard for a lot of us. And it's hard to find momentum. It's hard to just figure out where you are and how you feel and what's going on in the world today. There are a lot of things going on in the world today. And sometimes it's very hard to just keep going because you don't know where it's going to end. You don't know if it's going to end. You don't know what's going to happen. And we have all been dealing with that since mid-March, if not before. I have been working from home since March 13th. And this month has been both freeing and chaotic at the same time. I finally feel like I'm to a point where I'm accepting of being at home and am actually enjoying it. But also so many things have happened in working at home with my home and other things that it has caused a lot of stress. But the one thing that I have found is that we have to keep going. We just have to keep going. One of the reasons that I like running so much, and I can't believe that those words just came out of my mouth because, 6 years ago, I would have never said that I was a runner. And now I am. And I love running. But part of what I love about it, and I was thinking about this on my run this morning, was my why. Why do I enjoy it so much other than like the endorphin rush and all of that you normally get physically? But one of the key aspects of me running is the fact that I feel like I am moving forward. No matter what. Doesn't matter how many miles I get in a month. January, I had 27.15 miles. February, 14.68 miles. March, 50.6 miles. April was 61.33 miles. May, 75.39 miles. June, I just hit this morning 54.78 miles. I am well on track of hitting my 100 miles in a month. Am I exhausted? Yeah. Am I a little overextended? A little bit. But it is the one thing that lets me feel like I am moving forward. Because even if you look back at my February numbers, I only got 14.68 miles done. I actually did 9 runs that month. I've done 15 runs this month, and I have 54.78 miles. Is there a huge discrepancy there? Yes. But I know that in February, I was sick almost the entire month. Do I think it was something other than what we're going through right now? No, I think that's when I had it. Just saying. But I did what I could. And each one of those 14.68 miles in February took everything out of me to do that. However, I felt like I was still moving forward. Now, looking back, it doesn't seem like a huge comparison. 14.68 miles to 54.78 miles in 15 days. Really? But you have to take everything into context. But no matter what, my running makes me feel like I am moving forward every single day that I get out and do it. I have a streak going right now. I completed, today was day 56. I want to keep that going as long as possible. And I would love to have a 365-day streak. Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy. But I don't know if that's realistic for me or not. But that's okay. Every day I make it and I do it. And, you know, it comes 7 o'clock and I'm in that shower and I'm like, it's done. It makes me feel like I'm moving forward. Even though I'm still at home, still working from home, still have a leaky roof, and as of a couple of hours ago, a non-working swamp cooler again that we just paid $1,200 to fix. However, I know that I will get up tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and I will go for my run, and I will be able to log 3.65 at least miles for tomorrow. That's something that gets checked off, that I do, that I go, look at that. I'm moving forward. I'm not moving forward with everything in my life, obviously, but it is what keeps me going. And no matter whether you've done a mile today or 3.65 miles or 25 miles today or the month or the year, you've added to that number. And I think that's what I love so much about running is I can't look at any amount of steps that I've taken and look at it and not think that I'm moving forward. So, you know, that's what keeps it in my mind. And it keeps everything in check. Because also this morning I got on and my weight had increased again. And I'm like, I know. In my brain, I know that right now my body is converting to muscle. And it is taking that fat and converting to muscle. When that happens, I always add weight. But once that conversion happens, then I drop weight. Because that muscle versus fat mass takes about 2 to 3 weeks to convert. And I can feel it. I know that's what's happening. But every Monday I get on that scale and I'm just like, oh, it's killing me. But every little step forward lets me know that I am just keeping going. And no matter what the obstacle is, I know as long as I keep going, that it will eventually get better. And I'm not giving up. Believe me. This month, I have never wanted to give up more. After all of the hits that we have taken in the past 2 weeks, I'm just like, okay. And I have done everything to keep a positive attitude and keep finding the good in it all. It gets harder and harder. But if I don't keep going, no matter what, then it makes it harder for me to find the good. It makes it harder to focus on kindness and all of the other things that we have gone through these past 25 weeks. And there have been times that I've just been like, I'm done. I am so beyond done. And yet, here I am. And, you know, today was very hard. Realizing that, you know, hey, we have this issue. Can you guys come back out and look at it? Because, you know, we paid $1,200 to get this stupid thing fixed. And the water was still going and the float was not working. By the time the person left, the second technician, my swamp cooler is not working anymore. I'm like, hello, it was working when you came. So, you know, there are things that we have to deal with. And there are things that we have to work through. And sometimes they are not pleasant. But I still have my health. I still have my little Saki. I still have my house. I'm going to get a new roof. I'm going to get a new fence. I'm going to get a new space. And it's interesting, what I did to make myself feel better was you notice that there's no valance back here. Valance. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, but either way, the darker thing that used to be right up here, I took it down. I took him down in all of this room. And I realized that I was like, oh, dang it, I should have taken a before picture. So after this, I'm going to go through and take a before picture of this room so that when I get it all done and my meditation space and yoga space, and I don't know what, it's basically our giant dining room, but we have a baby grand piano and that is going away. And, a couple of the different pieces of furniture are all going away. And we're getting I'm getting something new to house all my fabric and all of that. So I decided, I was like, it just came to me because I was so stressed about the swamp cooler that it was like, okay, what can I get done that is positive and that I can just keep going on something else when an obstacle is given to me and it's not something that I can control. What is something that I can control to keep moving forward? And so I was like, I'm going to take those balances, whatever it is. And as soon as I did, I was like, that makes this room even brighter. And I love that. I love having the sunlight flood in and being able to see outside and all of that. And it gave me some epiphanies about what I wanted to do. And I got out the measuring tape and I was measuring and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is what I'm going to do. So there will be trips to IKEA in my future as soon as they open. Let's face it, I have a lot to get done before I even think about all of that. But I have to get everything out of this room in order to get the new flooring put in that will eventually come after the new roof. And so I'm like, we could start boxing up this stuff that we're going to keep and get rid of the stuff that we're not going to keep. And then, we can get it all done and that'll be so much easier. So weird little steps that I can take that help me keep going instead of just like throwing everything up in the air and going, okay, I give up. I'm done. Okay, 2020, you win. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my momentum and keep my positivity and keep going forward. So in order to do that, every box that comes into this house will start housing my fabric, my whatever stuff that I'm going to keep, because I can do that now. And it's going to help me get rid of the stuff that I don't need anymore, which I also have a plan. But I need to feel like I'm moving forward. And it's just to keep going. While I was dealing with the swamp cooler issue, I had to be outside to help turn on the water, turn off the water, turn on the water again, turn it off again, all of that. So I had already planned on this evening going out and getting another load of the weeds and stuff from the backyard to get into our green bin and out for tomorrow's trash. I did that. I got other things done outside while I was out there, and it just helped me realize that there are things that I can do versus the things that I have no control over. So, which also goes back to worry about the things that you have control over, not the things that you have absolutely no control over. I'm at home. I don't think that I would have ever thought about redoing this entire room had I not been at home. So again, another domino falling in a way that I am thankful about, because it's like, I don't know why I never thought about that. I don't know why I, felt like I always have to do this, have this room be this certain way. And just taking down those curtains, we'll just call them curtains, brightened up the room so much that I'm like, oh my gosh, I am looking so forward to figuring out everything else that I want to do in this room. So just finding a way to keep going and moving forward, even if it's one tiny little step forward at a time, helps, because it makes you feel like you have some sort of control over your life when everything is in chaos. And trust me, everything is not in chaos, even though it appears to be. There is so much movement forward in the world right now. It's just, we're in that phase where, when you're going to reorganize your craft room and everything looks like hell. It looks like the crafting room exploded. That's kind of what it looks like right now. But that is kind of what had to happen so that you can take steps forward. And I think that's where we're at. The key is to just keep going and not getting overwhelmed by everything that you can't control, and realizing that there is forward momentum and that you can keep moving forward. So if you can find one thing, whether it's your running, which is what helps keep me in focus, and every morning doing that for an hour, it clears my mind. And the weird side effect of that is that because let me just tell you my morning routine a little bit. Now, because I've had to shift my run to the early morning, I get up at between 5:45 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And usually I wake up by myself, or like without my alarm. I wake up, I get out of bed, put on my running clothes, put on my running shoes, and I am out the door before I even think about it. Because if I'm like, do I want to run today? I will tell you. I will tell you no, I don't. But as soon as my shoes hit the pavement, which is after I hit go on my Strava and on my Nike Run. Yes, I run with 2 programs. It's a whole nother thing. But as soon as I start, I feel like I'm moving forward and that I'm keeping it going. And that streak that I don't want to break keeps me going forward. So the focus of this week is to just keep going. Just keep going. Don't let up on your momentum. Don't let up on the positive that can come out of all of this situation. Whether you have to get a new roof, whether you have to now get a new swamp cooler after paying $1,200 for one, for fixing one, whether, you're surrounded by stuff that you want to get rid of. You can't do it all at once, but you can keep going and making progress for moving forward one step at a time. So just keep going. Just keep trying. Just keep doing. And that is all anybody can ever ask. Whether you succeed, whether you fail, the important part is that you keep trying. I can guarantee you, I have failed more times than I have succeeded, especially in my running. But every day is a new day, and I keep trying to move it forward. Part of my new focus as far as my running goes is that I have the distance down. It's a great distance for me. It's 3.65 miles. I've got that down. I know that I can do that. I also know it's a stretch, that it's pushing me. Do I think that I'm going to do 100 miles every month from now until, whenever? No, I can guarantee you I won't. However, I know what that distance requires. I know how to push myself. I know what it does. And I may do it every other month. I don't know. But the fact that I know how to keep going despite everything is the key to this. Because after I've hit 100 miles, which is, partly also driven by the fact that that's the only badge in my Nike Plus app that I don't have, running 100 miles in a month. And I'm like, that's the only one I don't have. I'm going to get that one this month. But what if I don't? I have no idea what the second half of the month is going to hold. But I'll keep trying because I want that badge. The fact that we are going to get a new floor on our main floor means that I have a lot of stuff to get done and get out and move, and to get rid of a baby grand piano is not the easiest thing on the planet to do. Let me just tell you now. Also, if your family ever tries to give you a piano and you don't play piano, say no. Just flat out say no. Because it has been a giant thorn in my side forever. I've had it sitting in my dining room for 10 plus years. And I'm like, I'm done having a giant piece of decorative furniture that my cat lays on or that I pile stuff on that I don't use. I'm a music education major, or I was. Not anymore, but I was. And I hated piano. I took it out of guilt because I'm like, it was my mom's and I should keep it. And I do want to learn how to play piano more because it was part of my education, but I sucked at it and I didn't enjoy it. And now I'm like, I want to Marie Kondo the hell out of this thing and get it out of my house. But it's not something that I can just pick up and move. Literally, it took 9 people to get this thing in my house. I wish I could go back and tell yesterday's Amy, don't do it. Just don't do it. You're going to hate it. Don't do it. Can't do that. But I can donate it or sell it or beg my mother to come get it. Don't know the plan yet, other than the fact that it will be gone. It has to be gone because we can't replace the floor with it here. So, tangent. Anyway, long story, even longer. Just keep going. Kind of like my stories. Just keep going. Can you tell it's been a day? It's been a day. But I know that tomorrow morning, between 5:45 and 6 a.m., I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put on my running shoes, go out, let my brain just and enjoy that hour. Where I was going 2 stories ago was the fact that now that I do that in the morning, it's actually affected my morning pages because it's like all of these thoughts come out of my brain. And it's like by the time that I get back home in that 50 minutes to an hour, it's like I'm chucking it all out of my ears as I run. And I'm just like, boom, 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 get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And it's just like, by the time I make it back and I'm getting in the shower, I'm just like, oh, it's so nice. And what I have found that is when I'm sitting down doing my morning pages, I'm like, what else do I want to write about? Because I've gotten it out during my run. So what I've kind of done is my evening reflection is kind of partly my morning pages, but it's my evening pages. So I've kind of changed that up a little bit because my run is doing exactly what my morning pages was meant to do. And that was just clear my mind and get it out. And that has helped. That's another way for me to just keep going. So before I keep going on this rant, horrible, crazy day, I'm just going to leave it there and state that the focus for this week is to just keep going. Keep the momentum going. No matter if that momentum is 1 step or 233 steps, just keep going. Don't give up, because that's when you fail. Doesn't matter if you try and you don't make your goal. Get back up, try again, try again, try again. The winning is in surviving your failures. And we all know that we've all had them. If you give up, then you lose. So just keep going. There you have it. I hope you guys have had a good week last week in finding the good. I know that it was a very hard week to do so. However, I learned so much that I don't think that I could ever go back to thinking the way I did. Not to say that it was negative, but finding the good in even the worst possible scenarios helped. And I don't want to go back to having the negative always be there. Yes, the world is in chaos right now, but finding the good has helped tremendously. And I hope that I have the same feeling of just keeping going, because adding all of that to this and just keep going and finding the good and keeping that momentum strong is exactly what I needed. So there you have it. Now to go and figure out what we're doing about the swamp cooler. Anyway, I wanted to get this up because it is late, and I was like, oh yeah, the other thing that I couldn't do because the dude was on my roof. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will be checking in periodically, and hopefully things start to slow down a little bit. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.